Greetings humans, this is Karma Tinfoil of the Grey Consortium. I was sent as an advanced scout to watch you for my species to see if you are ready for admittance to the stars. I was sent here over 9 months ago, the day before the American president received his Nobel Peace Prize in Norway. Never mind the fact that he was elected to end the war the last president started, and instead is continuing the same agenda of a war. In the Middle East, not only was the Copenhagen Climate Conference going on, but the Norwegian Isket Harp facility was kind enough to light my landing path. Isn't torsion physics pretty? Thank you for the spiral. It reminded me of this galaxy I once vacationed at as a child. Since then I've been studying your various cultures using your internet, and speaking with people in truth using your many famous internet social networking sites like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's been fun. Your species is eminently entertaining. Sometimes I wonder if you spend too much time collectively entertaining each other, though some of you delight in your ignorance, like on Jerry Springer and Jersey Shore. It seems like all of your sports have been rigged for betting purposes and games of false egoic local pride. From what I can tell, pro wrestling is the only real sport and all the others the fix is in. Since I began studying the American race, first having landed in Philadelphia, I was shocked to learn so much about them. The first thing I noticed about these sports is that you call baseball the national pastime. This doesn't make sense to me. NASCAR, MLB, NBA and NFL combined only make $9 billion annually, whereas your American pornography industry generates over $13 billion per year. So what is really America's national pastime? Next up, politics. What an appropriate word. Many blood-sucking creatures are keeping the rest of you as tax slaves to the Federal Reserve's national debt. Your educational systems are substandard, and the No Child Left Behind bill was written in as 98% of children are to get a proper education. Doesn't No Child Left Behind mean 100%, not 98%? I'm either confused about how to do earth math, or you've been practicing your Orwellian double-speak. Your corporations have near free rein to pollute so much so that the Gulf of Mexico is now a dead zone, though to give credit where due, British Petroleum and Halliburton have created an impressive disaster. You are maturing as a species, though your transitional adolescent phase. I recently started calling the NW Oedipal complex the beginning of Oedipus Rex is the allegory of humanity. Inevitably your species will overcome and kill the father, which allegorically are represented by those pesky contrivances of government, religions and corporate banking clans, keeping you as a child dependent on the state. When you inevitably defeat the father in your mind, the allegory continues by marrying your mother, or in this case living in balance with nature. Many of you dreamers are awakening to the nature of the control grid. Keep up the good work, don't stop seeking truth. This is Karma Tinfoil of the Grey Consortium, and I grok this message. Transitional project status report to the Grey Consortium. To my superiors, wait, computer, scratch that. Let's start over. TPS report for the Grey Consortium. To my bosses, I scouted out the old city of Philadelphia recently. It's quaint. They show off to tourists a bell which is never rung or allowed to be touched in a giant glass and steel building which is surrounded by guards. Not sure what liberty this bell stands for. With such a federal presence there across the street is more national monuments. Independence Hall also has many guards surrounding it, and a thick fence built into the ground. Again, I'm not sure the tourists see the irony in this. All of them do what they are told, just so they can stand in line and see a tour of the birthplace of their independence. A few blocks north is their Constitution Center, which doesn't hold a copy of the Constitution within its walls. In the blocks which flank it is the U.S. Mint on one side and the Federal Reserve on the other. The Mint doesn't work for the U.S. government, it works for the Federal Reserve. Not unlike Federal Express, one of their misnamed shipping companies. It is not even a part of the federal government. It is a conglomerate private bank which is owned by corporate and international bankers. They practice usury on the unknowing victims of this fiat currency system. America is now over $13 trillion in illusionary debt. When the consortium fiefdom begins, we will need to show humanity that the De Beers family has been creating a false scarcity of diamonds. The humans made an old movie called The Day the Earth Stood Still, and in it the alien visitor explained how diamonds were used as currency in space. If all the diamonds were used as the basis for their purchasing, they will not miss the Anunnaki gold. All of the gold in Fort Knox has been moved to the designated area with the rest of the gold for The Anunnaki's Nibiru sky-fixing project. The Anunnaki monarchs will end their fiefdom upon delivery through the Mars mission. The Anunnaki fiefdom of Earth may have begun with their arrival and creation of humans from Neanderthals, but it will end with humanity in disarray, and being controlled through the bloodlines of aristocracy, royalty and corporate banking clans. These will need to be removed from power when the consortium arrives in order to allow humanity to progress properly. The Galactic Federation's light scout ships will need to swarm the Earth for us to turn off and extract all of the dangerous nuclear materials in humanity's combined arsenals of weapons of mass destruction. The GLF will need to hit them cloaked and quickly to ensure that the most fearful of them do not attack us as our Grey Confederation announces its presence. Enlil of the Anunnaki has already released the water cleaning technology to them to help them clean up the masses of messes through the Hollywood age, and currently Monsanto has been messing with their food supply on the genetic level. The Grey Consortium will need to shut that down too. Monsanto's frankenfood is beginning to calcify the human pineal gland and retard their psychic abilities. We will need to retrain some of the humans to eat better. You should see what they call fast food and what it does to the human body. A human named Nikola Tesla, whom we talked to over the radio, he made soon after he figured out how to create free energy out of the Earth's natural ionization 100 Earth years ago, but the information has been suppressed by the banking clans, corporate media and oil industry to continue the controlled pyramid. There are some Tesla coils being made by inquisitive humans all over Philadelphia. They even have their own club. The Grey Consortium should give them whatever help they need in this area. A human figured it out already, so we won't be giving them anything they haven't figured out themselves. The HARP programs will need reprogramming to serious standard specifications. HARP can then be used for its original purpose of bringing water to the deserts and fixing the humans' agricultural economy. Some of them already know what is going on. Those are ones who have used the internet to disseminate information to their peers for the benefit of the rest of humankind. Some of the wisest of humans have already planned out the cities of the future for the new resource-based economy, and have maglev tube designs for high-speed transportation. We should use these designs, for they are sustainable and ergonomically correct for humans. It would be best to let them build it for themselves as well. They need a beautiful project like an advanced city to light their way during this transition phase. Earthship biotecture is one of the best ways for those in poverty among them to find freedom. Also, these two should be built by and for themselves, and they should teach their children to do the same. Too many of these humans believe with fanatical zealotry what their religions have told them. Fortunately, much of this will dissipate as the consortium reveals itself. I recommend we tell them the truth of their origins, and about how the Anunnaki created them as slaves. Many of them may go insane in finding out that their gods are not what they thought they were during the transition. We may need to tell them that God only helps those who help themselves. This should aid some of them in dealing with the difficult work they have ahead of them as they dismantle globally and renew locally. During the transition, we will need to encourage humanity spiritually. Their love and compassion is their greatest strength. We should also discourage religions, for they only can use it into dogma for controlling others. Many humans are mind-controlled by religious leaders. Humans don't understand fully that they are all one, but their awareness in this is growing. They will need this understanding before they can be admitted into space with the rest of civilized society. This transition out of planetary childhood should be easy for the human race. Their maturity into being their own people and responsible for each other will be easily accepted when they learn that their maturity past adolescent being will come with the ability to drive spacecraft into the rest of the galaxy. They have in syndication a television broadcast called Star Trek. It has already given them the imaginative spark which will drive them to become responsible members of the galaxy. We should encourage them to put it back on TV as a way to continue inspire them to the stars. Thank you for this assignment. Wait until you try this pastry they created in the Middle East called baklava. It's delicious. That is all for my review and suggestions in this TPS report. I'm Karma Tinfoil, and I grok this message.